Okay, Sophia. Okay. Good morning, everyone. A grand welcome from the Canadian Embassy here in Beijing. My name is Betti-Jo Ruston. I'm the manager of the agriculture program here in Beijing, China. I want to thank you all very much for joining today for our plant-based industry webinar and online B2B event. I'm also very pleased to see that our technology is holding. What a great event. What we see here is so many companies interested in talking about plant-based protein. And as Canada, we're incredibly pleased to welcome you all here today. To start, I'm very pleased to acknowledge the close cooperation that has taken place to bring us here today. I'd like to thank the CFNA, who is a very close friend and partner for Canada here in China. I'd like to thank Mr. Zhao Derong and his colleagues that are working on the event, Mr. Sun Yu, as well as Mr. Sun Kai from the Grains and Oil Department. I also want to thank our provincial colleagues, Mr. Winston Khan, as well as Mr. Yifan Ding. And of course, I want to thank Sophia from my team as well for all the work that's gone on to bring this event to fruition. Just to walk you through how today will go, the event is broken up into two separate sessions. Session one will last about 2 hours, and we'll be joined by representatives from here from the embassy, as well as representatives from our provincial governments, Canadian industry partners, Chinese industry partners, all of which will be sharing their various perspectives on plant-based protein. As well, the event was very well received from our Canadian industry, and there are 15 Canadian companies that will be interested in sharing their the work that's underway in Canada, and as well are looking to explore discussions with Chinese partners on the China market. In addition to the companies that are joining us that have already pre-registered, I'm pleased to say that we are live streaming, and there's probably a significant number of companies that are also joining from within China that are actually interested in learning more about Canada's capabilities in plant-based protein. Session two will last from about 10 o'clock China time until 11:30, and this is for the business-to-business matchmaking sessions. Because of logistics, session two will only be open for those companies that have been pre-registered, both Canadian and Chinese. After session one, we will have a 5-minute break to allow the various participating Canadian companies and their Chinese counterparts or partners to enter into the individual breakout rooms. To highlight, there will be simultaneous interpretation provided for the whole first session and consecutive interpretation available for the various breakout rooms as required. I just want to remind our Canadian companies to not join the breakout rooms during this first session. Otherwise, you'll miss out on the first session and the conversation in the main conference room. Should any speaker encounter technical difficulty, please raise your hand or let us know, and we will also let you know if we see problems on our side, and we will help mitigate that. So with that, I look forward to a very interesting session over the course of the morning. To begin, I'm very pleased to turn the speaker over to Mr. Zhao Derong, the President of the Chamber of the CFNA. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, Mrs. Betti Ruston. Good morning, Mr. James Kettel, Charge Affairs of Embassy of Canada. Good morning and good night, everybody, both in China and in Canada. 很高兴啊，能与加拿大驻华大使。
It is my great pleasure to co-host this Canada-China plant-based industry online B2B event with the Canada Embassy of Canada. I would also like to thank Alberta, Saskatchewan, and the China Plant-Based Foods Association for their strong support for this event. Although we can't communicate face-to-face for the time due to the pandemic, I hope that through the joint efforts of both of us, this online event can achieve practical results. Canada is a major global pea supplier and also the major source of import for China, accounting for more than 90% of China's total pea imports. In 2021, the drought in North America reduced output of peas in Canada, which affected China's annual import volume. In 2021, the total import volume of pea was 2.2 million tons, down 25% year-on-year. Canada has also advanced practical experience in pea protein industry processing, R&D, and production of plant-based food. Therefore, both sides have great cooperation space. In the past year, the price of peas in Canada has greatly increased, with the highest increasing ratio by 100%, which greatly increased the production cost of Chinese pea industry, as well as starch, protein, vermicelli that use peas as raw materials, which are facing industry-wide loss. It has dealt a blow to China's pea industry and restrained the rapid growth of pea processing industry. If this difficulty cannot be effectively overcome, it will have a long-term impact on the pea trade between China and Canada. It is hoped that enterprises of two countries will look forward to long-term cooperation and tide over the difficulties together. China is a major producer of pea protein in the world, accounting for more than 50% of global output, with the continuous advancement of concepts of health, nutrition, and environmental protection. The importance of plant-based foods in the food processing industry and end users is increasing year by year. More domestic protein producers, food processors, restaurant chains, and retail terminals are beginning to focus on developing and trying to get involved. Since 2019, the emerging meat substitutes represented by plant-based foods have been developed rapidly in China's market, which not only opens up a new space for the application of pea protein, but also has potential in consolidating China's food security, reducing carbon emission and improving people's health, and is a sunrise industry in line with China's future food development. In 2021, the market size of China's plant-based food industry is about 9 billion yuan, an increase of 11%. By 2025, the domestic market size is expected to reach 20 billion RMB. It is hoped that this event will promote the cooperation between China and Canada in this emerging industry, especially promote Canada's high-quality plant-based products to enter China's market. China and Canada have great joint in pea trade, protein processing, and plant-based industries. And we have great development potential in protein and plant-based food investment, R&D, production, and market development. I sincerely hope that the representatives of the two countries can communicate industry dynamics, promote mutual understanding, further deepen cooperation, consolidate trade relations, and achieve a win-win result.
Can promote mutual understanding.
I hope that mutual communication can promote mutual understanding, mutual trust, and mutual benefit.
Create win-win cooperation.
And we can achieve a great win-win cooperation together. I wish this event a complete success.
Today's event is a big success. 谢谢大家.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Zhao. Oh, good, everyone's clapping. That sounds very respectful to be doing even with us online. Thank you very much for your remarks, and thank you very much for highlighting the important work that lays ahead for us in plant protein between our countries. With that, I'd like to turn it over to Mr. James Kettel, who's the Chargé d'Affaires within the government of, within the...
民以食为天. Food is everything. Safe and healthy food is fundamental for the world. Canada, with vast land and strong food systems, is proud to be one of the major suppliers of agricultural and agri-food products for the world. Agriculture remains a major sector in many regions in Canada, particularly in the prairie provinces of Alberta and Saskatchewan, both of which are participating in today's event. Many Canadian farms are owned and operated by families who have passed their operations on from generation to generation. They take the responsibility for growing quality grains seriously, and they are proud of the quality crops that they supply to the world. Agriculture continues to play a critical role in bilateral trade between Canada and China. In 2020, of all Canadian exports to China, agriculture and agri-food products accounted for $9.4 billion. That is 37% of Canada's exports to China. Of all the agricultural and agri-food products exported to China, peas are Canada's fourth largest agricultural export, clearly one of our leading stars. China became Canada's largest dried pea export market in 2020. And last year, China imported 2.7 million megatons of peas from Canada, hitting a historical high. Compare this to 20 years ago, when China imported less than 100,000 tons of peas from Canada. I myself have been living in Beijing for 4 years now, and I am aware of the lifestyle changes of Chinese people. I see how popular pre-cooked and ready-to-eat Western food and Western-style restaurants have become, and Chinese consumers are paying even more attention to nutrition and the impact of what they eat, not just for their health, but also for the environment. Plant-based products are a good option for consumers for these reasons. Canada is a global leader in plant protein, and our industry has been advancing strongly along the value chains. As you will hear from the presentations later today, we have built a protein industry cluster led by Protein Industry Canada, and we have various plant-based protein, food, and drink products known for their high quality, sustainability, and environmental friendliness. Built on our solid trade relationship on peas and other grains, I'm sure our industry players in Canada and China can continue to complement each other in the value chains of plant-based protein and products. To the Chinese and Canadian participants online now, and despite the uncertainties and restrictions caused by the epidemic, I hope you are able to make good use of today's online exchange as an opportunity to initiate communications with each other and establish partnerships for the future. I wish you every success in your business. 谢谢大家，祝今天的活动圆满成功。Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jim. I'd like to now turn it over to Ms. Nancy Wu, Executive Director of the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry, and Rural Economic Development from Alberta, Canada. Nancy, over to you, please.
Yeah, thank you so much, Betti-Jo. Will I be able to share my screen? I have a short presentation deck.
Yes.
Okay. I'm still disabled.
1 second. The
Sure. Yeah.
CFNA is working on that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Excuse me, could you share your screen now?
No, host disabled participant screen sharing.
Okay, I have enabled the function. Please try again.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I can now. Great. Yeah, thank you.
There we go.
Thank you.
All right, everything's good?
It looks beautiful. Please proceed.
All right. This is the Canadian mountains. Good morning and good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Alberta government, first I would like to thank the event organizer CFNA, the Canadian Embassy, and our neighboring province, Saskatchewan, for your partnership and organization of the event. And also many thanks to the Chinese audience, as well as the Alberta Canadian companies for participating in this event and seeking opportunities in collaboration in the plant protein sector between China and Canada. Go to the next slide. Oh, okay. All right. For those who don't know a lot about Alberta, this slide summarizes some of the basic Alberta advantages. We have, Alberta is very well positioned for thriving plant protein industry. We have abundant and high quality food stock, and we have a resilient and diversified economy, a young and skilled labor force, high quality of life. You have seen my screen with the Banff and Lake Louise photos. And I also want to highlight low taxes. Alberta, we do not have provincial sales tax, no capital tax, no payroll tax. We have no health premiums, and our provincial corporate income tax, corporate tax is the lowest in Canada at 8%. Because of our advantages, we have a thriving agriculture and agri-food industry. In the year 2020, Alberta has the largest food processing sector based on sales in Western Canada at $15.5 billion. One of the Alberta advantages is the abundant and high quality feedstock for the plant protein sector. We have 28% of Canada's pea and canola seed production, and 31% of Canadian wheat production, and 18% of Canadian oats production. And in terms of, we have a world-class logistics in terms of road, rail, air, and sea transportation. We're very well connected to export our agriculture and food products to the world. Edmonton and Calgary are our two biggest cities, and those are two major transportation and logistic hubs. Our two international airports are among the busiest in Canada. We also have rail terminals that we linked Alberta with the international ports on both sides of the coast, both West Coast and East Coast. And here is a map of the North America. You can see that the highlighted area is Alberta. We are a province away from the Pacific Ocean, and this is a strategic, logistically is a strategic advantage for us, so that our agriculture and food can be exported into the fast-growing China and Asia market, enjoying the shortest distance between from North America to Asia. So all in all, we later today you will meet with about 15 Canadian companies. Several of them are from Alberta. So I wish everybody have productive meetings and mutual successes. And if you are interested in learning more about Alberta's plant protein sector, or just agriculture sector in general, please feel free to reach out to me. 谢谢大家 and 欢迎大家到阿尔伯塔省来访问。Okay, thank you.
Welcome,
Bye.
everyone. If you want to visit Alberta, please do contact me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nancy, for a very interesting presentation and reminding us about Alberta. For some of us, it's been a while since we've been back in Canada, so it is nice to see the pictures and remember home. So with that, I'd like to turn it over, please, to Mr. James Kettel, the Executive Director of the Ministry of Agriculture from the Government of Saskatchewan. Mr. Kettel, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Ruston. I too have a presentation, so I'll try sharing my screen and seeing if I do this right here. I don't know if it's maybe not working. Anyways, maybe I'll just go forward with my presentation here. I don't want to take too much time up. Good morning, everyone. I'm James Kettel, Executive Director of the Trade and Value Added Branch of the Saskatchewan Ministry of Agriculture. On behalf of the Government of Saskatchewan, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to bring greetings to today's Canada-China plant-based industry. Oh, there we go. Plant-based industry online business-to-business event. I would also like to bring you best wishes to everyone as we enter the Year of the Tiger. Thank you, Jim Nickel from the Embassy of Canada in Beijing, Mr. K.O. Derong from the China Chamber of Commerce of Import and Export of Foodstuffs, Native Produce, and Animal Byproducts, and Mr. Li Cheng from the China Plant-Based Foods Association for taking part in this event. The Ministry of Agriculture has a strong relationship with Saskatchewan Trade and Export Partnership, one of our great partners here in Saskatchewan. STEP has hosted many trade events with China, with the China Chamber of Commerce of Import, CFNA. We also welcome Protein Industry Canada and Pulse Canada to the event and the valuable partners. They are valuable partners to Canada and the Government of Saskatchewan. Let's see if this works. There we go. Canada, Saskatchewan, and China have a strong bilateral relationship. China is consistently Saskatchewan's second largest agri-food market. Between 2012 and 2021, Saskatchewan's exports to China increased by over 87%. In 2021, our agri-food exports to China were the second largest on record, worth 3.6 billion Canadian dollars. Saskatchewan dry peat exports to China has tripled in dollar value since 2012. Saskatchewan is committed to the Chinese market, as demonstrated by the operation of our China Trade Office since 2010. Saskatchewan plays an increasing important role as a major supplier to the world's rapidly growing markets. The province is one of the world's largest exporters of peas, lentils, durum, wheat, canola. Saskatchewan is Canada's leading producer of grains and oilseeds. Also, we are recognized as worldwide as a consistent supplier of high-quality agricultural products, food, and ingredients. In this next slide, you'll see a depiction of Saskatchewan's research ecosystem. Many of the institutions support plant protein research and development. We're very, very proud of the research infrastructure that we built up in Saskatchewan here. In addition to our exports, Saskatchewan is also home to the state-of-the-art research institutions, such as the Crop Development Center and the Saskatchewan Food Industry Development Center, who I believe are participating in today's session. The Saskatchewan Food Industry Development Session has strong expertise in creating and manufacturing new food and beverage products and utilizing plant-based proteins. Province is also one of the best places for plant protein research, with the University of Saskatchewan research driving plant protein innovation. Saskatchewan yellow pea research has increased demand for pea ingredients used in a variety of products, from protein bars to noodles and a wide range of consumer goods. This research has helped grow yellow pea exports to China from zero in 2010 to $765 million Canadian in 2021. The Government of Saskatchewan is committed to ensuring the long-term viability of the industry and has set targets to grow our province's agriculture sector by 2030. Our long-term strategic plan for growth includes the growth of the goal of processing 50% of Saskatchewan pulse crops right here in our province by 2030 to help meet the increasing demand globally for plant proteins. It has been a pleasure to connect with everyone virtually, and I welcome our path forward together. Thank you. Yes, now
Thank you, Mr. Kettel, for your remarks and for showing us about the significant ecosystem that exists in Saskatchewan for the grains and oilseeds sector and for the plant sector. Very interesting indeed. With that, I'd like to turn it over now to a little bit longer presentations from first from the representative from Protein Industries Canada. I'd like to thank Mr. James Street, the Director of Business Development, for joining us today and for showing us a bit about the work going on in Canada from PIC's perspective. Mr. Street, over to you. Yes. Okay. Hi, so just to say to Mr. Street, you might be on mute. Can you see if you can unmute? And for the participants, just we beg your patience with over 100 people, 150 people on the event. We just need a bit of time to work out some technical issues as we move forward, so please be patient.
Betti-Jo.
James, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, and you're now on the screen. Wonderful. I can see your presentation. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much for that introduction. Hello, distinguished guests and colleagues. Thank you to our Canadian partners for the opportunity to speak about Protein Industries Canada today and the organization to get here. Thank you to the Chinese audience for the chance to showcase the plant-based sector opportunities here in Canada. Protein Industries Canada is one of Canada's 5 innovation superclusters. It was created in 2018 as part of a policy initiative of the Government of Canada to increase industry-led research and development in various sectors across the country. We are a not-for-profit organization funding collaborations in the plant-based food space with a focus on protein crops grown in Western Canada. We work hand in hand with other federal and provincial sector development and trade agencies to make sure we support plant-based opportunities across the country. International partnerships are key to leveraging the latest in technology and formulations that help Canadian companies develop the plant-based foods of tomorrow. Protein Industries Canada works to ensure the ecosystem of companies in our membership have access to the expertise, networks, and information required to innovate at the speed of business. At Protein Industries Canada, our vision is to support the development of Canada as a leader in plant-based ingredients and products. We do this while considering some of the greatest challenges to the food system, such as climate change, sustainability, and human health. The projects that we've invested in are active everywhere across the value chain, everything from seed breeding, digital applications, on-farm ingredient processing, right through to end products that you might find on a plate or in a restaurant or on a grocery store shelf. We are transforming the industry here in Canada. Global demand for plant-based proteins is growing, and Protein Industries Canada is here to help meet that demand. Canada is already recognized as a leader in grain and pulse production, a supplier of top quality plant protein crops. As we innovate and develop production of plant proteins, we in our membership are working to transform our industry and our place in the global economy. Canada has strength from raw materials to ingredients to finished consumer goods. And our goal is to leverage this to help Canada become that global source of both high quality plant proteins and plant-based co-products. This will help create connections and inspire innovation, collaboration across our agriculture and food processing sectors. Western Canada has been spoken about already. It's an agricultural powerhouse. We have more than 28 million hectares of arable land, accounting for more than 85% of Canada's production base. And the Supercluster initiative is positioned to do more than just invest money. This is about doing business differently and leveraging those value chain strengths as a nation to drive that innovation, overcome the barriers, and explore new opportunities. Our Supercluster will encourage Canadian businesses to collaborate with others, post-secondaries, research institutions, and work on projects in key areas, and in doing so, creating jobs and stimulating our local economies. We do this through the reimbursement of funds for industry's investment in technology and capacity building. As our industry ecosystem grows, we are going to share the risk and accelerate innovation at a much greater speed than we could alone, thus helping to grow our nation's economy and position Canada as that world leader. In doing so, we invest across 4 pillars. Create, starting at the beginning of the value chain, Protein Industries Canada supports advanced research and development to create the next generation of Canadian crops. Grow, projects such as improving smart production to improve yield, quality, value, and integration within the supply chain. Make, new processing technologies, formulations, and product development for further processing of crops, the utilization of side streams, and development of novel products. And lastly, sell. This is the marketing and commercialization projects needed to boost branding, sales, and export. Protein Industries Canada works alongside innovation and technology to ensure the business ecosystem is prepared to respond to the demands of markets. We do this by building the overall capacity of the sector as well. This delivers the product required to meet the global demands. It requires capital, talent, infrastructure, and more, and all are enhanced through a strategic program area to support the growth, knowledge, and health of the sector. As a result, the sector has that increased bandwidth to participate in the global plant-based ecosystem. So why choose Canada as a partner in plant protein? From crop to processor to export, producers and manufacturing operating in Canada enjoy competitive business costs, accessible export markets, and advancements in agritech. Canada is the world's largest exporter of pulse crops, representing 35 to 40% of global exports. Canada has added to its supply side strengths. We have the high quality crops and ingredients, access to the latest in R&D technology, support systems, and processes. We have enhanced growing practices driven by robust sustainability goals. We have a broad scope of arable land and crops, all working toward a reliable partner in developing plant-based opportunities. Protein Industries Canada hosts a broad range of innovative companies in the plant-based sector. These companies see the advantage to investing in Canada and have demonstrated this by developing new and expanded projects to add value to Canadian pulse and grain crops. The diversity of brands you see on this slide is a showcase to the broad selection of products and ingredients in development. Next, I'll provide an overview of some key projects within our portfolio. Feel free to follow up with me after the presentation at any time to get more information. Firstly, we have Botaneco and Corteva and Roland Farms, the commercialization project of novel oilseed-derived ingredients using canola, hemp, and sunflower, working to improve separation, purification, and commercialization of these ingredients. Merit, the winning combination, and Phyto Seeds are constructing a state-of-the-art plant protein facility looking to manufacture high-purity pea and canola proteins. Corteva, Bunge, and Botaneco are creating a hybrid canola seed with increased protein content and less fiber. This project will develop a higher protein canola meal, reported to be superior to soybean. Provision Analytics, Verge, Schematics, and Coots Agro, helping farmers to become more efficient and achieve higher returns. And they're doing this through improving the traceability right along the value chain. AGT Foods and Ulivit, in processing pea, lentils, fava beans into a concentrate and to a high moisture meat analog. The texturized pulse protein, tempeh, tofu, pasta, and other non-dairy analogs are going to be positioned well as we further the development of these market-ready foods. Lucent Biosciences Incorporated and AGT Foods are creating a novel approach to improving the value of fibrous co-products from the pulse processing industry. This is transforming them into an organic micronutrient fertilizer. Sightline DL Seeds SeedNet, working to develop yellow pea varieties to combine high yield potential and high protein content, and they're using AI in order to facilitate this. OPI and Farmer's Edge are working to increase the efficiency of farmer decision making and expand those opportunities in the plant-based market. They're working to use AI as well on the predictive and forecasting models that will allow. Ingredion, One Meal a Day, Verdient Foods, and T-Base 4 are working together to improve the functionality of pulse-based ingredients. So we will see these as they're marketed to manufacturers in Canada and internationally. Mara and Benson Farms are developing new plant-based protein products using crops grown in Western Canada. And again, we will see these products as they enter Western Canada and markets in Asia. Big Mountain Foods, Baconology Blends, Village Bakery, Dea Foods, and Avena Foods are developing new applications for tempered pulse flours. This is another marketing project targeting the European region and products like bakery items, pasta, soups, and egg replacements. EMN, Infinite, and McMaster University are collaborating to develop a novel-based plant protein blend that will be used for clinical patients and athletic consumers. Graincrack, Tomtone Seed Farm, and Ripple Foods are developing a new high-protein pulse-based ingredient for the non-dairy beverage market. This is something that has substantial potential environmental benefits, and they're working to quantify this within the process. CPI, Agricor, Synthesis, Prograin, and DJHI are developing and testing new non-GM soybean varieties optimized for Canada's growing conditions and working to commercialize these. Farmer's Edge, OPI, and TrustBIX are developing new platform to enhance production practices and storage and marketing decisions. They'll be combining storage technology with blockchain traceability. Merit Functional Foods, Dea, Kaizen Naturals, Grand River Foods are developing new plant-based foods and ingredients from Canada's most widely grown crops, and new products will be prioritized to meet the needs of consumer health and taste. New School Foods and Liven are developing a whole muscle plant-based fish fillet that emulates the same texture, taste, and cooking experience of fish. These new products will target at consumers that are interested in a more sustainable diet. NRGene, Farmers Business Network, Pulse Genetics, and Manitoba Harvest are collaborating to develop new pea and hemp varieties. So this new pea hemp flour blend will improve the protein and starch content in plant-based foods and beverage products. Wamame, Merit Functional Foods, Wismatek, and Wine Crush are developing and distributing plant-based non-soy alternatives to pork and Wagyu beef products, and these are targeted worldwide, primarily through Europe, Asia, and North America. YoFit, Avena Foods, and Roquettes are creating nutritionally and functionally superior plant-based food products and beverages. And these new products are focusing on the consumer packaged goods industry. Thank you again for the opportunity to speak about Protein Industries Canada and the plant-based sector opportunities here.
Thanks very much, James. I think one of the takeaways is it's really hard to not be excited about all the innovation and investments going on in Canada now in the plant-based food space. Thank you very much for sharing a glimpse into what some of that is looking like. And hopefully the partners online are equally excited about the opportunities that Canada can present for Chinese partners. With that, I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Li Cheng, the leader of China Plant-Based Food Association. Over to you.
Thank you, Betty. Yeah. Good evening, all the Canadian folks. I was living in Canada, in Toronto, for more than 10 years. So I'm Mr. Cold and snow skiing there.
Nice.
各位早上好啊，中国的植物基同行跟伙伴们啊。
Leaders, distinguished guests, good morning or good evening. We are China Plant-Based Foods Association. We've been founded for more than 1.5 years. We mainly focus on the plant-based products, marketing and distribution in China's medium and market. And we're trying to build an ecosystem of plant-based products in China, and we also consolidate the resources in China to promote the development of this industry in China. We are very grateful for CFNA and Embassy of Canada to host this online B2B event. I would like to represent our association to share with you some of the new trends and some of our own research in this industry. With the changes of global climate and ecological environment and continuous growth of population, people are facing insufficient supply of meat products and environmental damage. Therefore, plant protein food, which can replace meat, has broad market potential and prospects. It is also the direction that scientists around the world are trying to study. In recent years, plant-based food has attracted the attention of food processing enterprises and consumers for its healthier and environmental-friendly features. With the rapid improvement of scientific research and manufacturing technology of plant-based foods, they are becoming more diverse, delicious, and also cheaper, providing consumers all over the world with diversified food choices. As an animal protein substitute, plant-based food has broad market potential and prospects in meat, eggs, and milk. In China, we have some favorable conditions to develop this industry, which I would like to share with our Canadian colleagues and friends. In China, we have vegetarian lifestyles since ancient times, which is beneficial for us to promote plant-based foods. Secondly, China has a huge market. This is a fact well known to all. With 1.4 billion people, we have huge market potential. What's more, China's consumers are willing to try new foods and new ingredients. What's more, we have the trend of pursuing healthier lifestyle in China, especially after COVID-19. With the lessons learned from this pandemic, and people are more aware of health and healthy products. What's more, China's government is issuing some preferential policies on promoting healthier food, especially carbon peaking and carbon neutrality. But of course, in China, we have some challenges ahead. Firstly, also about vegetarianism, which is a double-edged sword. Although it's beneficial to health, most consumers in China, they have a misunderstanding about vegetables because they think it's not nutritious, it's not tasty, it's not good for health.
And that the Chinese consumer, here in China, we have thousands of years of diet of history. So they're quite picky, actually. No matter it's about R&D, production qualities, and so on. All they ask for is high quality and delicious. And third is that most consumers, or currently speaking, when they're trying to pick for fast food, what's the motivation behind those things? Unlike foreigners, probably vegetarians, or then maybe it's about eco-friendlies and so on. For Chinese consumers, their first consideration probably is about healthy. So this is something that you would like to focus on. And fourth, although we have a huge market in China, we have a lot of population, huge population, but the differences between people and regions and so on is actually quite huge. So it is quite difficult if you want to dive into any sectors in China. So dear colleagues, please don't make an over-anticipation of that. That's what I would like to say. And the next challenge is, currently speaking, we're still a developing country. The average consuming capability is still not that high. The interpreter is unable to hear from Mr. Larry. Okay. And however, here, this kind of food in lower carbon emissions and so on, and we have this huge potential. So plant-based food, they're low in fat, and it can be a very good replacement for food. And that industry is developing really fast here in China for plant-based meat, and that can vary to fill the blank, the space industry in the meat industry here in China. So as people are growing their anticipation and growing demands on meat products, I do believe that plant-based meat is a very good filler in that. And people are quite positive toward plant-based meat here in China, according to research. It is anticipated that in 2025, that market will grow to 15 billion as Nestle, as Unilever, they will be entering this domain, I believe, very swiftly, and also through survey and market surveillance. In the future market, probably will be entering some incident. That is that the plant-based industry will now be a very blockbuster. And so the leader of this industry was leading, right, from probably by foreign countries. But we do believe that there will be Chinese enterprises becoming the leading role in this industry. However, currently speaking, in this short term, this Chinese enterprises, some of them are still lack of technologies and so on. But if you look at traditional food industry players, although in fast food like KFC and McDonald's, they have very good sales channels, but their technology, I believe, is not that here yet. So we do think that traditional comprehensive enterprise for the plant-based, if it's suitable for supermarket, that can be a very good point. So a new industry's growth would require some focused product. Here, currently speaking, in the Chinese market and plant-based market, we're not seeing any blockbuster SKU so far that the consumers can actually believe in that and see that the appearance is not large enough. Now this track is speeding up. And third is we need to see the turning point of the price. Now, because of the ingredient and the way of processing it, R&D, channels and so on, plant-based foods, generally speaking, they cost higher than traditional food, right? So we do believe that in the future, plant-based food products would definitely be lower in price comparing to traditional dairy, egg, and meat products. In order to boost this industry's growth, and we do announce a series of campaigns. We want to join our hands with international market, international bodies to really realize plant-based food. We want to make it more common appearance in China. So we're contacting with 9 different associations in the world based on the plant-based industry. We have a work team, and we are willing to join our hands with you to boost the development of plant-based food in China. Thank you.
Thank you, Betty.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lee. Very interesting indeed to hear about the potential that you see here in China for plant-based proteins. Thank you very much for sharing. With that concludes our introductory remarks from all our very important representatives here for the event. I'd like to turn it now to the various Canadian companies. I just want to let you know that there will be 15 Canadian companies that will be making introductions. These companies cover a wide perspective of the plant-based industry, including pea and grain exporters, plant-based protein manufacturers, plant-based meat and meat product manufacturers, plant-based milk producers, and companies involved in food and drink manufacturing, food research centers, etc. So just to note that AGT, an important Canadian company, is participating in our event. However, they will only be attending the B2B session. And so with that, I'd like to turn it over to Botaneco Inc. And to Ms. Jenny Wong. Over to you.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Jenny. I will be presenting our company Botaneco during this event. And we are very happy and honored to be able to showcase our company and take this opportunity to meet more friends from China. So basically, we're a company based out of Calgary, Alberta. We are a novel oilseed processing technology platform company. And as Mr. Street has introduced previously, we have been working with PIC for some time on some of the innovative processing technologies that we possess. So we have, so in a nutshell, what we do is we convert or we process oilseeds feedstocks, the commodity scale oilseeds as our feedstock, and using our innovative IP-protected technology to turn them into clean and plant-based oleosomes, protein concentrates, and isolates. Those products can be applied in a variety of ways. So far, Botaneco has 3 large verticals in terms of the application of those unique co-products. So we apply them into our personal care vertical. So we have some very large and international personal care product customers that have been using our products for many years to produce a clean label product. So we also have our agriculture feed vertical. So this agriculture feed vertical utilize our protein concentrate as an alternative. And also our products can be utilized by the plant-based food product. In terms of the personal care vertical, so we have the technology and the products that can actually effectively formulate and deliver active ingredients in, for instance, skincare products. It's all natural and a plant-based alternative for formulators and cosmetic scientists. And For instance, our Hydrisia oleosomes is a very popular product across Europe, North America, and in South Korea. It's an all-natural emulsifier for skin hydration. And our capsule sun care product is a very efficient sunscreen loading, which reduces the need for chemical SPF filters. And this actually works very well for a lot of our larger customers in terms of getting clean products into the market by reducing chemical usage while maintaining the effectiveness of SPF filters. Our agriculture feed vertical is actually currently being developed very quickly. So we actually produce a canola protein concentration for use as a major protein ingredient in agriculture feed. For instance, can be used as fish feed or shrimp feed. Our food vertical will utilize canola and sunflower protein as emulsifiers that can replace all the chemical emulsifiers to create a truly organic and green food, and as well as improving the texture and the sensory of the products. In terms of the personal care business, and first of all, we're looking for, to meet and greet with all the Chinese partners in the China market. We're also, looking for the opportunity to meet some potential distributors in China for our personal care products. As I have mentioned, our products have been selling really well, growing really fast in North America, Europe, and South Korea. And it has been proven that our product actually do reduce the chemical usage in the currently, popular, for instance, sun care and hair care products, and to meet the trends in terms of, customer focusing on cleaner label products, broad spectrum protection, less greasy products, while at the same time providing the necessary moisturization and anti-aging features. So for instance, in terms of the anti-aging and sun care sections of the personal care business, we analyzed that for the sun care production, it's about 83% of the market share, and self-tanning and after sun accounts for about 16.7% of the market share. So in the US, the sun care market will reach about 2.3 billion by 2022, and an increase of 18% since 2017. So we understand the market trend, and that's part of the reason that our products has been very popular in North America. The last page just showcased some of the brands that we're currently serving in the North America as well as in the European market. And we have over 50 projects that we are developing together with our brands and with our customers. So that concludes our presentation for today.
Jenny, thank you so very much for that incredibly interesting overview of the work going on within the company. It's amazing to see the various uses that are possible for derivatives coming out of the plants. So thank you so very much. I'd like to turn it over now to CreateFoods Canada and to Darren Costi.
Thank you very much. Just get this going here. Can everybody see that screen?
Yes, thank you very much, sir.
Okay, so CreateFoods Canada is a greenfield project. We are in development phase still. We aim to build a new processing plant here in Edmonton, Alberta. Our goal is to become a contract manufacturer of a variety of plant proteins and not to actually market our own brand of protein. We feel that the market for plant proteins is growing very rapidly and very rapidly expanding beyond pea proteins, for example. Even though there is massive demand for pea protein, we think it's going to continue to grow into all aspects of pulse crops and oilseed crops and beyond. So what we want to do is provide contract manufacturing for customers and companies that would like to have their own brand of proteins or that have a special need to have proteins that are not available from some other source. So our technology will, of course, be state-of-the-art. We plan to build it within the next 24 months. We've developed a team right now that is got over 100 years of experience in contract manufacturing, in chemicals and food ingredients. We're a very seasoned team able to do this project. Our project, as Nancy Wood related to before, is in Alberta and near the capital region of Edmonton. I see my star got moved there. We have local access to all of the Western Canadian raw material crops, of course, peas, lentils, chickpeas, all the oilseed crops, and can produce a variety of protein isolates and starches from those crops. So as I indicated before, our process is able to go beyond just doing pea protein. Our location, as Nancy also referred to, very well located for North American logistics. If you wanted to manufacture a product, on behalf of a Chinese company and market it straight into North America, we're extremely well situated to produce that product and push it into North America, or to produce the product and ship it directly back to China. Our project is going to be a hub of economic activity. We're going to utilize both Canadian raw materials. We will need to find a partner to get imported and international raw materials. We plan to export these raw materials both to the international market and, of course, to serve the domestic market. We are going to co-locate with several partners that will be utilizing our products and some of our byproducts. They will be on the same site with us. And we're looking for industrial partners. We're providing a lot of economic diversification. And of course, we're providing research and development to develop, continue to develop new protein products. Right now, we're looking for collaboration, mainly for partners that would like to either invest or become offtake partners who are looking for supply volumes of proteins or starches or dietary fibers. We anticipate getting these contracts in place in the next 6 to 8 months so that we can go forward with the project and continue to build. And then we expect it will take about 24 months before we're actually fully operational. So at this time, we're still looking for some initial phase investment. And of course, we have availability for larger investments for the equity portion of our build. And we've already started looking at where we're going to put plant number 2 down the road, probably in about 3 years. So that's about it for our project. Thank you very much. We appreciate your time. This is our contact. And thank you for listening.
Darren, thank you so very much. What a wonderful level of ambition and vision that you have for where you can move forward. And certainly if there are Chinese investors online and looking to connect to Darren, please don't hesitate to reach out to us at the embassy. And we're happy to facilitate those conversations and those introductions as needed. Otherwise, please reach out directly to Darren and the team. So congratulations to you. Now I'd like to turn it over to ETG and Michelle Chong. Michelle, over to you. Good morning. Okay. I see you, Michelle. I can't. Can you unmute
So
There we go.
So I need to share my screen, right?
Yes, please. CFNA can also help you share your screen.
Okay.
Oh, good.
No problem.
Thank you.
So can you see it?
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Over to you, Michelle.
Okay, good morning and good evening. You're welcome. Good morning and good evening, everyone. My name is Michelle Cheng. I'm from ETG Canada. Thank you for Embassy of Canada, CFNA, for organizing this great event, and we are honored to have this opportunity to introduce our company. What's wrong with it?
Michelle, are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Your screen is now back.
Okay, sorry. ETG Canada was established in year 2011 as a branch office of ETG Group. Though our footprint in Canada is not very long, it's only 10 years. We have over 50 years of experience as one of the largest exporter of specialty pulses and food ingredients in the world. Our export business operates in more than 65 markets around the world. We also have a presence in local retail markets of North America. Currently, we focus mainly on 18 products covering the whole pulses family in Canada and the US, ranging from lentils, peas, chickpeas, to oil seeds and edible beans. At the same time, we are operating a wider product portfolio beyond these 18 products, such as mung beans, cashew, sesame, and spices through our global sourcing capacity. Our headquarters is located in Toronto. We have 6 processing plants in Saskatchewan and 2 beans processing plants in Manitoba. Our plants all adopt the most up-to-date technologies and equipments for sorting and processing our products. We place the utmost. We always place the utmost importance on food safety and the product quality. All our facilities are applied with the standards of international quality control. We have a team of professionals in each plant to monitor and guarantee good compliance of food safety and quality at various stages of product processing. In the past decade, pulses has been rapidly recognized around the world as a perfect source of rich nutrition and fiber and plant-based protein. It's healthier, affordable, and also environmentally friendly. So it's like a new revolution of the food industry. Our company is actively participating in this effort through proudly supplying our specialty pulses products to reputable brands of plant-based healthy food products. So China is our most important market. We look forward to explore more possibilities with our China partners in the future. Thank you for your attention. If you have questions, don't hesitate to contact me afterwards. Thank you.
Michelle, thank you very much for your presentation and for sharing the importance as well as the beauty behind lentils. Thank you very much. Incredibly insightful indeed. I'd like to turn it now over to Galaxy Ag Ventures by Francois. I'm sorry, Gega? Sorry, Francois.
Yeah, correct.
Hi.
Perfect.
Hi.
Hello, everybody. Ni hao ma. Hope you're all doing well. 2 seconds, sorry, while I share.
Great, you are on the screen. Thanks, Francois.
Awesome. So pleasure to be here, and thank you for your time, everyone. My name is Francois, and I'm presenting Galaxy Ag Ventures. So Galaxy is an agricultural investment firm that tries to capture or tries to invest in value-added products here in Canada, Alberta. So Galaxy has 3 subsidiaries that it's currently operating: Kurata Agribusiness, a commodities trading company; West Coast Agro, a grain elevator; and Nanum Foods. And our goal is to find and optimize synergies in between these 3 companies. And I apologize, Nanum Foods is a food distributor that distributes to customers or retail clients. So beginning with Kurata, as previously mentioned, Kurata is a commodities trading company based in Calgary, Alberta. Currently, Kurata focuses on trade between Canada and Korea. That's the majority of our trade. However, we're also involved in Japan and Vietnam. Kurata is very interested in expanding into China in the future. Kurata has a very diverse team. We can cater to customers in Mandarin, Korean, Japanese, French, English, and Swahili. So we think our diversity is one of our key strengths. And Kurata recently purchased a grain elevator in Bashaw, Alberta, which is one of our subsidiaries. Now, Bashaw is one of the key pea and lentil growing areas of Canada. So we have strategic access to one of the prime growing locations in Canada, and we are trying to establish ourselves as a major player in the pea industry in the future. Kurata is also involved in research and development projects. We were involved in researching the lupin bean and developing the lupin bean, which is a new crop that more efficiently can feed livestock more efficiently. And we are also currently researching if it's possible to grow rice in Canada or in Alberta. So yeah, moving on. Nanum Foods is our retail or is our food distribution side of the company. We focus on distributing packaged goods, so things you can buy in the grocery store. Right now, Nanum Foods is also focused heavily on Korea to Canada, that relationship, importing Korean foods to Canada and exporting Canadian products to Korea. But we are also looking to expand into China. Nanum Foods is a relatively new company. It was founded in 2020. However, we already have 120 retail customers here in Canada with clients such as the large T&T grocery stores. And our current product list, we are focusing heavily on Haskap berry products, maple syrups, so high quality niche Canadian products that aren't necessarily commodities. So in the future, as previously mentioned, we are looking to expand to China. We're looking to collaborate with forward-thinking and like-minded businesses and investors. And if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out either directly to us or afterwards in the meeting. Thank you for your time, everybody, and hope to hear from you.
Thank you very much, Francois, for your presentation. Very interesting and nice to see the hard work going on to expand your business ties beyond your existing markets. So congratulations to you. I'd like to now turn it over. Good. I'd like to turn it over to Aaron from Maple Leaf. Aaron, I can see you. I can't hear you.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Aaron, you're not very loud.
Screen?
Can you try to be a little bit louder?
Okay.
That's wonderful. Thanks, Aaron. Over to you.
Okay. Can you my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Aaron from CreateFoods. 大家好。我是加拿大枫叶食品公司的 Aaron。今天非常有幸，有机会参加咱们这次植物基线上。
Okay, very glad to be here to participate in this B2B event. And thank you for support from the embassy and association. Here, I would like to make an introduction about our brand, our company, and our product.
Sorry. 我们加拿大枫叶食品集团是一家。
So here in Canada, Maple Leaf Food is a long-lasting company. We have a very long history. Please pardon me.
Sorry. Also,
we are one of the largest packed meat company in Canada, US, Asia. We have more than 1,300 employees, and we have our offices in many places around the world. In November 2019, we are the first food company that aims for carbon neutral. And in 2017, through M&A of Light Life, now we officially migrate ourselves into plant-based protein industry. Just a second, please. Pardon me.
My side.
Do you share your screen?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, CFNA.
Yes.
So it's proceeding well.
But Can you my screen? Yes.
Yeah. So Aaron, maybe CFNA can
Aaron 还是说 CFNA 这边可以帮助您播放您的 PPT？ 您看这边有没有需要？在这边您这边能看到我的屏幕吗
？Share in the same time.
Aaron 这边您只能一次看到分享一个屏。
Sorry.
I will follow you.
Oh, 我不知道。
你那边是什么问题
？OK，
我这边好像不能翻看，你能看到我的屏幕吗
？OK， 我现在停止。
让我来自己分享。
OK。
刚才可能你这边有在分享对吧？
是的，那你稍等啊。
我进不去刚才。
Aaron, in the interest of time, could CFNA please control the screen and you just share your remarks about the company, please?
让我自己来分享，让我自己来分享我的屏幕。
I would like to share it on my own. Thank you.
关掉了没有？
稍等一下。
你关掉你的分享，我自己来。
好。哎，我这怎么关不掉？
你把你的关掉。
稍等啊。好了。
我重新来。
我就是按名字来的哈，我随便给你发了一双，这是物美的。
OK OK。
OK。OK。OK。Let me continue. Let me continue. Sorry. 加拿大枫叶食品呢是一家领先的植物蛋白。
So Canada Maple Leaf is a leading plant-based company. So our history can be traced back to 100 years ago. So as you can see, we have two brands facing consumers, including Lightlife and Field Roast. So for Lightlife, actually it can be traced back of 40 years of history. In 2017, we actually acquired Lightlife, and also we actually bring more portfolio to Lightlife. Currently speaking, we have plant-based burger, breakfast meat, bacon, chicken nuggets, hot dog, sausage, and so on. And so for our product, we put our consumers' health into the first place. In the process, we try to keep its nature flavor and to keep the neutrality in there. So based on the insight of consumer demands, we actually rebranded Lightlife. So as you can see, according to demand, we use the most simple and readable materials to manufacture our product. And also in terms of packaging, we have very clear labeled the nutrition and the ingredient of our product. So today, these are the things that we're going to introduce to you today. These are our product, including the meat series. These are all plant-based. And also in here, these are all pea-based proteins. In terms of ingredients, the chicken product, the taste is very similar. So this is a upgraded veggie-based meat burger or burger meat, and actually the taste of it and the texture is closer to the traditional meat, and we have more taste in there. It is not non-GMO. There's non-cholesterols and so on. We're trying to use lighter ingredients and provide a healthier life to our consumers. So as you can see, our plant-based burgers and our plant-based ground, what's winning on our side is the taste of it. No matter it is the packaging, the willingness to buy it is actually, we are more superior than our competitors. So in North America, a lot of retail chains, they include Lightlife into their portfolio. So here we are in a leading position in North America's market. In all the 19.7 product here, Lightlife Burger placed number 8 in the market. So this is another series, and these are all plant-based as well. These are the Tampa series. As you can see, we have different tastes like smoky bacon and 3 grains and so on. So this kind of product, this is an Indonesian food, Tampa, and it is actually, no matter the taste of it, the texture of it, the way of preparing it, it's actually quite different than our traditional tofu. Comparing to tofu, it contains more proteins and vitamins, and it's easier for us to absorb it. So let's compare them together. Comparing to our product and traditional tofu, as you can see, no matter in protein and carbon series of fiber, fat, calciums, and so on. We're all actually better than traditional tofu. So in our company, we have our own R&D center. By having this kind of facility, we can know our consumer better and also to boost the innovation of our product. So then we do have the capability of manufacturing better foods and suitable foods for our Chinese consumers. And I would like to appreciate and thank this opportunity. We would like to use this opportunity to introduce our product to more resellers, retailers, and food and beverage companies, and hopefully we can be recognized by the Chinese consumer market. So as you can see, these are our contact info of our company. If you're interested in us, please do contact us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Erin, for sharing one of a very famous Canadian brand and very reliable Canadian company with our Chinese partners. It is a company that all Canadians welcome into our homes. So I know that Maple Leaf would be pleased to be able to go into Chinese consumers' homes. So thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
I'd like to turn it now over to Andrew Pham from More Than Protein Ingredients Limited. Andrew, over to you, sir.
Hi, everyone. Can you see? Hold on.
I can see you. I can hear you.
You see the deck?
It is now on screen. Thanks, Andrew. Over to you.
Excellent. All right. So my name is Andrew Pham, co-founder and VP of Finance from More Than Protein, MTP. My goal for this session is to introduce MTP, state what we are looking for, and go over our business strategy. So what is MTP? MTP is a company that's building a protein fractionation facility, producing plant-based ingredients such as protein, starch, and fiber. We're a B2B business selling our products to food manufacturers and feed companies. To date, we've secured $6.7 million in grant funding and $3.5 million from our first round of capital raise. This enabled us to accomplish our milestones and started our phase 1 construction a bit early. It was a good thing. So what are we looking for today? Two things. One, buyers of our products. Two, strategic investors to complete our round 2 capital raise. Our business model is green, sustainable, and most importantly, very profitable. Some of our existing investors from round 1 already expressed interest in investing in round 2, and we're currently at the due diligence stage of them right now. So just to quickly go into our deck, what is the problem that we're trying to solve? Supply and demand, first off. I think some of the presenters have already mentioned this earlier on, is simply put, UN data have shown that between the years 2000 and 2050, we expect the demand for meat proteins to double. And with the current system we have right now, it is simply not sustainable. So why is that? So the population growth and economic growth, both are effectively inevitable. As developing nations become more developed, wealth leads to increase in demand for meat protein products. With our current system, it's just something has to give in the future, and that's why we're in this space. Another thing that we wanted to touch on is the trend. Millennials and Gen Zs are leaning more and more towards the plant-based diet. Why? Simply is the perceived health benefits and the health benefits, actually, and it's also good for the planet. The world is changing, and we see the opportunity here and now, and we are well positioned to capitalize on it. And so how do we capitalize on the opportunity? Very simple. We want to build a fractionation facility to produce and sell plant-based ingredients. I see that in jest as this is an incredibly difficult thing to do. The barrier of entry is extremely high due to the substantial capex required and the expertise behind it as well. So that said, we are well positioned to overcome these hurdles as where we are right today. In a way, we actually don't mind the high barrier of entry just because it makes it harder for new competitors to enter the space, and less competition tends to fare well for the existing players. Now we'll move into our facility. What does our fractionation facility entail? It will be a 100,000 square foot facility. with a total processing capacity of about 83,000 metric tons of protein feedstock a year, and it will house 3 operating lines, all of which can be operated independently of each other: dry, wet, and our innovation line, as you can see here. So the dry fractionation line uses existing and proven technology. It will be our line to produce protein concentrate. We added this line in there in order for us to be able to customize products for mixing, as well as be the one-stop shop for certain buyers of our products, where a lot of times when they come to us, they say, I need isolate and concentrate. So we want to be sure they can cover all the bases. Now, wet fractionation line is also using existing and proven technology, except for some IP from our technology provider that will help improve recovery and also functionality in our end product. This line produces protein isolate, high purity starch, fiber, and molasses for animal feed. We have a water recapture technology where 95% of the water will be recaptured and reused, so we're extremely clean and also sustainable. Lastly, our innovation line. This is our unfair advantage. Aside from being very profitable as a standalone operating line, this innovation line is effectively a license to print new IP for future expansions, as it can take lab scale concepts and test them at commercial scale, and also utilize the end products to sell into the market. So we can utilize this line as custom processing, toll processing, and also different feedstocks in order to do custom mixing. For example, we can take in a lupin, mix it with a yellow pea protein, and maybe have a better amino acid profile. This line effectively is a wet fractionation line with some key added technology that will enable us to process high oil feedstocks such as lupins, chickpeas, and hemp. So we will also apply some of our own proprietary IP to this line that will help improve shelf stability, yield, and also neutralize the taste, the undesirable taste in the end product. And so this is pretty self-explanatory, just the application of all the products that we produce. And I think everyone's pretty familiar with this already. I want to very quickly touch on the team that we have. So our core team is highly diverse in our skill sets, ranging from farming and seed management, construction and project development, project management, grant applications, engineering, specifically for the wet fractionation side, and import-export finance. Since inception, our team have delivered on all of our promises to investors, and we are well on our way to achieving our goal of building our facility. We hope to find key strategic partners from this event, and hopefully also some investors. And we really look forward to starting that conversation. Thank you very much.
Andrew, thank you so much for sharing your presentation. Incredibly interesting and exciting to see the work that your company is moving ahead with. For any of the companies on the line, I certainly encourage them to reach out to you. And if anyone is looking for additional assistance, the MC is more than happy to facilitate discussion. So thank you very much, Andrew, for taking the time to present to us today. I'd like to now turn it over to OTA Canada and Jamari Ambersley.
Yeah, that's good.
Jamari.
大家好，我的名字是 Jamari。我要说中文，但是我的中文是非常不好，so I will just
I'll just speak. I'll just speak English, but just save the time of all of you.
Can you see my screen?
Almost.
Here,
1 second, please.
Let me see.
Jamari, it isn't sharing.
It's not sharing?
No.
Okay, let me see.
Do you want to try one more time and then we'll ask CFNA to help?
Maybe this.
There we go. It worked this time. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Okay, so my name is Jamari. I'm one of the co-founders of OTA Canada. And today I just wanted to share a little bit about our story and where we are today and what we're looking for. So like most companies, our story starts with a problem and a solution. So I'm a sugar addict. I love sugar, very addicted to sugar. So, and I used to play semi-professional soccer in Europe. So when I came home, I really wanted to make the decision to eat a healthier lifestyle and just start implementing more plant-based foods into my diet and reduce my sugar consumption. So when I discovered oat milk, I was really excited to find something for my lactose intolerance, but I quickly discovered that it was very high in sugar. And also because diabetes runs in my family, it was something that I was really concerned about. I saw labels that said things like unsweetened or no added sugar. And I was wondering, how is it possible that those labels said these things, but the oat milks were typically very high in sugar, sometimes often as high as 17 grams or 10 grams of sugar. And I felt that other people were saying similar things, that they're too sweet or they're misleading. So I was quickly trying to figure out if there was a way to create something that was 0 grams of sugar. So fast forward to 2020, we are a company that is a year and a half old, but we were able to accomplish quite a bit in that time. So we actually launched the first 0 sugar and happened to be keto-friendly oat milk in June of 2020. We were quickly then featured on CBC's Dragon's Den, who actually had saw an article that we were being sold in Costco as our first customer. Once that happened, it kind of just took things to the next level, and people wanted to learn more about what we did. So we quickly let everyone know that we actually produce, distribute, and sell innovative food and beverage solutions made from oats. That was before we knew what we wanted to do. It kind of just took a life on its own. So now we're actually proud to say we're available in over 1,300 stores across Canada within that year and a half. Our 0 sugar oat milk is our first product, which actually has a 0 sugar impact on the blood compared to other leading oat milks in the market. That actually have similar impacts compared to a 12-ounce can of Coke if you're comparing a traditional liter of oat milk. This product is actually not only 0 grams of sugar, but we're actually happy to say that we've created and we're working on currently creating a product that actually will be 8 grams of protein per serving. This will actually allow us to position ourselves as the highest protein oat milk in the market from a crop that is traditionally okay. It contains decent amounts of protein, but at 8 grams of protein, this is a very big deal considering how much oat milk continues to grow. The oat milk market is actually worth $2.2 billion worth as of today, and over the next few years is projected to reach around 4.6 to $4.9 billion. So why is this important? Well, we've now managed to get into Costco, Loblaws, Well.ca, and Longo's all throughout Canada. And these are some of Canada's largest retailers, Well.ca being Canada's largest online retailer, and Loblaws being Canada's largest being Canada's largest grocery retailer chain throughout the country. The product innovation that we're now working on that we think is important, specifically all of these oat milks that we're working on will be 8 grams of protein across the board. We are working on a barista oat milk that will contain some sweetness, so around 4 to 5 grams of sugar. And we're also working on other oat milks to address certain needs that we've seen in the market. So for example, consumers are very concerned about the number of ingredients that are within these products. So we have a simple ingredient oat milk that will actually contain only 2 ingredients, and a vanilla and chocolate oat milk, which we've seen a lot of interest for as well. As mentioned again, these will all be relatively low in sugar and all contain 8 grams of protein. We'll also be introducing a new product category within this space, which we're very excited to do. And this is specifically what we are looking for in terms of this meeting. We're looking for specific retail partners, as well as food service partners and distribution partners, sales brokers, as well as any particular marketing agencies that can help us with our efforts in testing the Chinese market to find other opportunities for our expansion into the Chinese market. I did want to share some of the feedback that we've had from consumers. So as a person with diabetes and lactose intolerant household, people have mentioned that this is what they are looking for. As oat milk continues to develop, more consumers are becoming aware of some of the nutritional value that oat milk actually lacks. And we've seen a lot of feedback around protein and sugar. So we feel like Oat Canada is very well positioned to address those needs that consumers are mentioning with a higher protein content as well as lower sugar content. This is some of the, this is my co-founder and my wife as well. We started it's a family-owned business, and we actually met in high school. So we've had a lot of experiences within technology, and now we're bringing some of our experience from technology into food and beverage, specifically within the plant-based ecosystem. And this was part from the show on Dragon's Den, and thank you guys for paying attention.
Damari, thank you so very much. That's incredibly exciting to see. I think that at least for Canada, to hear about the opportunities available for consumers to be able to get an oat drink that is lower in sugar is fundamental. It's incredible, and to be able to manage health conditions like diabetes. It's wonderful to see what your company is doing to help people. And I do hope that some of our Chinese companies on the line and some of our Chinese friends do recognize the opportunities associated with the product that you are putting forward. So happy to introduce you to them and help facilitate those dialogues. Thank you very much to you and your wife, and congratulations. I'd like to move now to Phyto Organics Foods by Laure Laval.
Hi, it's Chris Thiel from Phyto Organics. Can you hear me okay and see the screen?
Yes, thank you. Chris, thank you very much. We can see your screen.
Great. Thanks for having us. I'm just going to get my mouse going here. So it's a pleasure to be a part of this, exchange with many of our friends in China. My background, I'm a 25-year entrepreneur in Alberta. I started Phyto Organics a year ago. We are a greenfield project. We will walk you through the high-level overview of it. I'll do it with Laure Laval. Laure runs our R&D and our offtake program. And she's got a PhD in microbiology and a Master's of Science in biochemistry and biotechnologies. So our project, it is greenfield. We're looking at a location in southern Alberta. In evaluating where we're going to build it, it's really in proximity to feedstock. Within 150 kilometers of the facility, there's about 10 times the pea crop relative to the capacity of our facility, which will be a 40,000 metric ton per year processing plant. We're really situating it in the dark brown soil corridor in Alberta, which is optimal from a soil temperature and precipitation standpoint in terms of growing yellow peas. So situationally, that's where we're building. We've got proprietary IP. ESG is differentiating, and I'll give you a sense of what that looks like. And it's really all about integration of the technology and the building around it. I think there's been a few builds in Canada that have suffered by that lack of integration, and having a turnkey design is critical to project execution for something of this scale. So 40,000 metric tons a year. We've got a technology that basically will maximize the recovery and the value of every consumable component of a yellow pea. We'll produce about 9,400 metric tons a year of protein isolate. It's about 87% pure. About 19,000 metric tons per annum of starch. 5,000 of processed fiber, and another 5,000 of pea hull fiber. And Laura will walk you through the functional characteristics of those in a couple minutes. It's been touched on already, but I think worth reinforcing. Our location is in close proximity to rail, which makes it super easy to transport to the West Coast and then off to seaborne markets in China. So with the scale of what we're doing, it's about $180 million project. And we've closed our Series A financing on the equity side. We've got a syndicated credit facility from 3 banks in Canada, and we're well down the path on sourcing government capital from non-dilutive sources, promoting agribusiness value add in Canada. So the capital stack is coming together well. Really what we're here today for is twofold. It's offtake. We've done a product run, and we're currently in market with a number of offtake consumer packaged goods companies to evaluate that product and secure offtake agreements with them. And secondly, those same offtake customers may be interested in that strategic equity investment. Really our critical path here is, as we lock down our offtake over the next couple of months, we finalize our permitting, and we're breaking ground in the summer of 2022. and it's about an 18-month build. We've basically got the best-in-class technology and the best-in-class project design build contractors to put this together and build it. So proven in every aspect in terms of project execution. When you look at the financials of the company, when we get up and running, we'll do north of $100 million a year of revenue, about 50 million in EBITDA. And it's a high free cash flowing company. And really what that does for us is twofold. It's about returning capital to shareholders in the form of income and dividends, but also growth. We think there's a lot of potential to grow the sustainable protein market in Alberta. Project returns, it's about a 38% IRR. And when you look at multiple on invested capital, it's about a 6 to 7 multiple on putting equity into the company at today's level. So, as I mentioned, we'll finish our offtake here. We'll do our Series B, and that's really the last undertaking on capital before we break ground. And once we break ground, we don't look back, and we execute the full build. One thing that's truly differentiating about what we're doing is the sustainable pedigree. We've made this core, sustainable proteins for a healthier planet. That's the vision of the company. And when you look at the value chain in terms of our sourcing of peas, we're situating where we've got an abundance of supply within an hour and a half of our facility. That keeps our freight costs low. It keeps our GHG on truck low. The process itself, it has a number of efficiencies built into it that mitigate carbon use. And most importantly, we're going to run this on alternative power. Canada, I'd say, is ahead of the curve on other nations in terms of eco-labeling. And in my view, it's just a question of time before we have that formally and the U.S. market and other markets go there. So really the pedigree of what we're building is a net zero facility at inception. And what that will allow offtake customers to do when they use our product is to label that sustainably processed foods. And it is differentiating. Invest Alberta has characterized our product. So on the offtake side, I'll turn it over to Laura just to give you a sense of our products and some of the specifications.
Yes, thank you, Chris. So we are isolating all the product from the peas, the protein, the starch, and the fibers. We have two pea protein isolate products, and with our patented process, we can have protein with higher functionality, cleaner taste, no off flavors, and a good nutritional profile with lower anti-nutritional factors. The protein products are with a higher purity, 85%, and they have good functionalities. We also have our Phyto Optimate starch, which is characterized by a very high purity, 95%. And we have two products of fiber. The processed fiber with 55% of purity, which is a mix of soluble and insoluble fiber. And we have the pea hull fibers, which is 85% of purity, mostly insoluble dietary fibers. And both of the products have some benefits on human health. So at the end, our net zero food processing is here to support the sustainably processed food labeling for your product.
Thanks, Laura. So just to summarize on the company, our initial phase here is a 40,000 metric ton facility. We have every intention to scale this business. This is really phase one, and really see the opportunity to create 100 to 150,000 metric ton sustainable processing platform, and do that right in Southern Alberta. We've got the technology to do that. We've got the people and the know-how to do it. The ESG pedigree of what we're doing is differentiating. And from a capital standpoint, we're well advanced on our capital stack, and are looking for strategic investors and or offtake customers. But in every capacity, we have the ability to scale this and create $1 billion sustainable plant protein company in the province of Alberta. So thank you for your time, and we'll just leave you with our vision, mission, and motto.
Chris and Laura, thank you very much for such an interesting presentation. I think that one of the themes that everyone from China on the line realizes is the priority that the government of China has placed on all industries, but in particular agriculture, in realizing goals associated with climate change. And to have a company online that is really leading in this space from an ESG standpoint is really remarkable. And so congratulations to you and to Laura. And I do hope that some of our Chinese partners online do recognize the opportunity to work with you to learn about how to move forward in such an important sector, but in an environmentally sustainable way. So thank you very much for sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to now turn it over to the Saskatchewan Food Development Center and Dr. Mehmet Tulbek. Doctor, over to you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much on behalf of Saskatchewan Food Industry Development Center. It's my pleasure to talk about our organization. I joined the organization about a month ago. I'm the new president of the organization after Dan Prefontaine, 22 years of service. So Saskatchewan Food Center is a place where we basically create, connect, and commercialize food products. And we have a significant plant-based food expertise in the organization, primarily starting the products from ideation, prototyping, and the manufacturing. The Saskatchewan Food Center supported the development, basically Saskatchewan agriculture and the food industry supported the development of an agency to provide innovation into the agri-food sector about 25 years ago. And over the past 22 years, Saskatchewan Food Center has grown to over 70,000 square feet with a strong focus on plant-based foods and ingredients. And we are a not-for-profit agency with over 50 staff dedicated to supporting the agri-food sector in Canada. Saskatchewan Food Center is a one-stop shop that we can basically develop any type of technical and outreach programs. We have food product development services, which we can create any type of product, the pulse utilization, coming up from the whole seed all the way to the ingredients, looking at the different way of utilization of the pulse crops and the pulse ingredients from peas, lentils, fava beans, chickpeas, edible beans, as well as lupins. We are looking at ingredient innovation, processing technologies to mill and fractionate and look at from dry to wet fractionated food ingredients, looking at processing and incubation, extrusion capabilities, as well as food safety and the skills development capabilities. So some of the products over the years, we developed some of the examples here. You can look at some of the innovative pulse-based product ideas. And these are all completely plant-based products from fried to baked or different type of interim products that can be utilized from duck flavor to pork flavor to beef or chicken type of flavors, all plant-based food applications. We have the capability to produce innovative pulse-based snacks, different type of energy bars, granola bars, baked goods. And also we have the capability to develop a pulse-based energy bars. One example here, the Prairie Pulse Bar with different coatings and drizzle systems that can be organized and developed accordingly from startups all the way to well-established companies. And these are some of the examples of the fibrated proteins with the pulse-based ingredients. Here's some examples with the pulse-based, like a pea protein, vital wheat gluten, or different type of ingredients that we can generate different type of colors from red, brown to lighter beige. And these products can be transformed into different type of chicken nuggets, as well as plant-based examples. And here's some of the plant-based chicken kebabs, some stir-fry examples, fried plant-based chicken nuggets, as well as some pies and quiche type of products you can see. And these are all different RTE chicken applications, completely plant-based. We have 2 processing facilities. These are certified facilities for food processing, CFIA inspected for meat, dairy, processed foods, and honey. A HACCP certified, BRC certified, organic, halal, kosher, and NHP certification. And we have the FDA approval for processed foods. We have a wide variety of capabilities in meat, dairy, fruit, vegetables, condiments, and snacks. Diverse, flexible equipment, over 200 pieces of equipment with trained operators with commercial manufacturing. And we have also 5 incubation suites that the companies can take their ideas and work in these incubation suites until they are ready for establishing their factories. And in addition to that, we also have food safety and the skill development capabilities for the plant-based food industry, as well as for the meat and the other industries as well. So with that, thank you very much for your attention. You can reach out to us through our website or through our emails. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tulbek, for the presentation. We were just commenting here that for some of us who have actually been through Saskatchewan, we actually think that we have visited the center in the past, so we look forward to visiting it now under your leadership as well. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
I'd like to turn it now to Sonic Milling Systems, known as Mara Development previously, and Rhonda Ekstrom. Rhonda, over to you.
Great, thank you so much. Greetings from Regina, Saskatchewan, everyone. It is an absolute pleasure to be there with so many talented Canadian and Chinese companies. And I'm joined here today by my colleague Mo, who is going to deliver our presentation in Chinese. So over to Mo.
Hello, 大家好。我非常开心的今天能够再跟大家分享
Hello everyone. Very glad to be here to share with you here.
在后面呢，我们会叫它声波研磨。那么声波研磨是用于制造植物饮和液体原料的一种新技术。那在食品和饮品行业呢，大多数成分医学状态比单纯，所以呢，我们的工程师、食品科学家和企业代表创造了这种将食物或者植物直接从化成液体的方式。加拿大生产燕麦在过去的2年里，无论对食品和加工服务业原料或者开罐即饮的成品，我们制造了各种类型的液体燕麦产品。我们的燕麦饮品非常明确地标注了无任何化学或者添加剂，我们大省份
on the tag or on the package of our product, this is all tagged 100% Canadian made. So now let me just make a swift introduction about the way of processing it. So as you can see, the sonic milling platform utilizes hydrodynamic and cavitation technology where water and energy create microscopic explosions.
It's a process of creating microscopic explosions to break down a solid into liquid. 那么当你可以看到这个，就是你可以看到这个插锁式，当添加了水和能量之后呢，固体分子可以。那这个过程是没有
So in the process, we're not using any chemical ingredients in there.
那么结果呢是得到非常干净的一个液体，
is a very pure liquid ingredient. So actually, we successfully kept
这个过程使用的能量非常的小，而且会产生污染和垃圾。那么声波研磨这个技术在不同的食品应用上呢，可以被广泛使用，在以植物为基础的原料或者产品上。首先，它非常适合生产植物奶饮品。我们制造燕麦奶、
producing like oat milk and so on,
姜、
oat butter.
这些东西呢，只用了3种原
So for
材
these
料，
products,
就
they're
是
using
燕麦、
only 3 ingredients.
以及
That
消
is
化酶。
oat, water,
燕麦奶和奶油
and other
是
flavorable ingredients. For oats and butter,
麦
it's a
浓
very,
浆呢
very
是浓缩型的产
popular
品，
product.
可以用于其他产品生产，或者是
in the production
重新加入
of
水分
different products, or then you can re-edit into waters and create it into another forms of
第二
product.
点，这个技术可以将植物分解成泥状，也就是可以用于生产零食或者点心的夹心，或者来制造植物肉。 那么公司呢现在正处于2022年，我们正在开发和建造2022年商品的商业生产线的一个阶段。为了能够得到更长久的保质期、更小的体积、更方便运输，而且更加环保，我们也将会使用新型的无菌的包装。虽然我们可以分解各种植物，但是我们目前的专注点在燕麦上，所以我们并不会出售我们的技术还有使用权。那么我们也非常期待在下面的2个领域呢和中国的公司合作。第一个呢是为中国市场，是面对中国市场为你们公司生产其自主品牌的产品。第二个呢是为中国的食品和饮品公司提供液体的燕麦原材料。谢谢您今天的时间。Thank you very much for your time with us.
Thank you. We can provide services and to our friends, and thank you for your time.
Thank you very much for your very interesting presentation. Thank you very much. So for everyone joining us now, I recognize we're running a little bit behind schedule, but I hope that you will bear with us as we proceed through the remaining presentations. For the Canadian companies, just to let you know that by last count, we had about 500 people live streaming the event here in China, which I think for us at the embassy is great news. So I hope our Chinese colleagues and friends are enjoying the information provided, and we'll just continue through with the remainder of the presentations by our companies. I'd like to turn it over now to SUNNYDALE Foods. I don't know if it's Heidi or Vicky online. Okay, I see you, Heidi.
Yes, you've got Heidi. I'm just bringing up my presentation.
Thank you. We can hear you clearly.
Perfect.
And you're on the screen. Over to you, Heidi.
Awesome. Thank you. Good morning and good evening. SUNNYDALE Foods is probably Canada's only farm-to-fork, fully integrated supplier of plant-based ingredients. And what we mean by that is that we are owned by farmers. Farmers supply that are in our consortium supply between about 30 to 50% of the plant capacity every single growing season. So inside of our group, we have a large amount of different integrated agricultural businesses. We do a lot of plant-based work, but we also have chickens, hogs, dairy, as well as a sister company that does extrusion that is next to us. In the pictures that you're looking at, the gray building is where our plant protein factory is. The plant came online about 18 months ago, and we manufacture simply non-GMO, plant-based, gluten-free, sustainable ingredients from pulses. Most of the pulse products that we use in our manufacturing process, we do peas, we do lentils, we do faba beans, but the vast majority of the volume that we do centers around peas and faba beans. So we make a pea protein concentrate that is used both in foods, pet foods, and aquaculture markets for different types of applications in there. And we make a wide range of protein concentrations depending on what your end needs are. We make pea starch. Pea starch primarily ends up in food markets and or pet food, as well as in some cases, depending on the application, we see it in animal food ingredients as well. And obviously we end up with pea hull fiber, and it goes into similar markets, primarily focused in the food markets as well as in the pet food markets. And the faba bean protein concentrate that we manufacture, a lot of people like it because of its flavor profile, and it has a bit of a different functionality compared to what you'll see in pea protein. We have this available both in a low visine and con visine form, as well as the standard form where we see a little bit more elevated visine and con visine levels. We see it in different applications. Extruded meat products is probably one of the more common. We see it also in different dairy applications. We also do whole flours, so we'll do whole pea flours, whole lentil flours. We'll do decorticated peas, lentils, and as well as some decorticated beans. Right now, we are starting to work on different texturized products using the ingredients that we're manufacturing, and we are looking for new users or users who are looking to potentially work with some of our products in their end product solutions. So, thank you.
Heidi, thank you very much. Incredibly interesting. I do hope that the Chinese partners online do see the opportunities to work with your company. And we're certainly happy to facilitate conversations moving forward with you, and Vicky. I'd like to turn it now over to TrustBIX and Hubert Lau. Over to you, sir.
Good day, everybody. Can you see my screen okay?
We can see your screen and we can hear you clearly.
My screen. Yes. Fantastic. Thank you, everyone, for attending. And I want to thank our host, CFN, our host, as well as our Canadian and provincial governments for hosting us. TrustBIX is a publicly traded company in the Toronto Stock Exchange. We're also in the US market. And our trademark is Gate to Plate. The purpose of our company is to create a world where we can trust more, waste less, and reward sustainable behavior. What is our solution? It is a technology solution that is proprietary to us, that we have designed with trust in mind, and to make sure that we never compromise privacy by using blockchain technology, metrics, benchmarking, many different points of data aggregation, so that at the end of the day, we can leverage our platform alongside with incentive solutions to increase participation from the producers as well as the retailers, so that we can provide independent validation of brands and supply chains. Here's just a quick sense of what we're talking about, is that there's many, many different product attributes that we can aggregate into our system, and we boil it down to brand promises, into the brands themselves, so that it can reach the buyers and what's important to them. This is just a quick map of our customers to give you a sense that there are many, many data points that we're aggregating all across North America and into parts of China. So one of the projects that we're very well known for is the work we did with our customer Cargill, and working with their customers with international brands such as Walmart and McDonald's. And we are the technology driver that allow Canada to become the very first country in the world to have delivered a certified sustainable beef supply chain. And whereas the world was saying don't eat beef, we were able to kind of overcome that and say there are alternatives. And as well, we were able to help drive the technology so that retailers, and not government, but retailers were able to create financial incentives that we could distribute through our system to all the farmers across Canada who help produce the sustainable beef for them. And today, we're also working with companies that are exporting products to the Asian market. And what they're also finding is by leveraging our technology as their background, that they are able to not only validate many data points, but they're realizing a higher revenue and higher profit margins against their competitors with more customer satisfaction. Earlier, James from PIC mentioned about our projects. So I just want to highlight it, that we're part, we have the support of the Protein Industries Canada so that we could migrate our technology into the plant protein arena. And the project we're working with right now is the yellow peas. And we're working with Merit Foods, with OPI Systems, Farmers Edge, and others to create the quality claims that they want about the production of the yellow peas across Canada. ESG is becoming more and more of a attributes or information that international corporations really care about. And so what we found is that because of our many data points already from the farm all the way through the supply chain until it gets to the retailers, that we're able to aggregate additional information such as food production attributes, waste reduction attributes, energy use, maybe how the land is being used in a carbon sense, as well as the GHG reduction. So Through all of those, when it's aggregated and reported back to our customers, our retailers and corporate buyers, they're able to put that into their balance sheets, or they're able to put it into their shareholder reports to not just say that ESG is important to them or corporate social responsibility is important to them, but what's very important is that they can measure those information and provide that with accuracy. So what are the benefits and the value proposition, what we do? Well, on the one hand, for farmers, we're looking at savings, increased revenue, increased sales volume. But from the corporate buyers, like the retailers, wholesalers, distributors, processors, we're looking at measured ESG progress, customer loyalty, and strategic sourcing of their products. So what are we seeking in this great event? Well, what TrustBIX is looking for are Chinese food processors and brand owners who want to increase their brand loyalty through the measuring of ESG and corporate social responsibility metrics, who wants to have strategic sourcing on plant-based protein products from Canadian farmers and producers. But at the same time, we're looking for Chinese food processors and farmers who want to supply into the Canadian food market and also be rewarded for the extra work they put in for sustainable and socially responsible production practice. And with that, I want to thank you very much, folks. Thank you very much for your time today, and I look forward to meeting many of you.
Thank you very much for your presentation. I think in everything that you've said, you've reminded everyone participating in the event about why agriculture now is such an exciting sector to work in. You see so many opportunities to do great work, and on the ESG, thank you very much for reminding our Chinese partners how we can work with them to help them advance those goals. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'd like to turn it now over to Very Good Butchers and Sarah Hardy.
Excellent. Thank you. How's everyone holding up? I know this is a long series of presentations, all very informative. So thank you all for sharing the wealth of knowledge and the opportunity to network in this way. I will get started with sharing my screen and we'll get going. This presentation is quite long, so I'll see if I can kind of highlight the key points. For those who don't know, we are a Canadian-based business based out of originally Victoria, British Columbia, on Vancouver Island, which is the farthest west of Canada as you can get. I was born in Saskatchewan, but raised on Vancouver Island, so it's very near and dear to me. And the story really begins with a couple of our founders, which I think is an important aspect to highlight, just how this was truly a homegrown company that has now become global in nature and is listed on the NASDAQ. So
Sarah, thank you. Sarah, 1 second. We can't see your presentation.
Oh, you can't? Okay, hold on. Let me just double back here. Okay. Let me just see here. Here we go. Can you see it now?
1 second, it's coming on. Okay, it is on screen now. Thank you very much.
Okay, perfect. Let me just make sure. Perfect. Okay. Yes. So in the photographs here, you see our two founders. One on the left, James, was a classically trained chef from Europe, and on the right is Mitchell, who is truly our business development. The two met and started the Very Good Butchers, which has now changed its name and rebranded under the Very Good Food Company. The mission for the company is truly just to be a global brand and to be an accessible source of plant-based food, where people are really encouraged to think not only about their diets and eating healthy, but really just making a positive global impact in the world. The food is known really and differentiated from the competitors in the current market for its clean ingredient deck, a wide range of products. We've just launched a gluten-free line that has had tremendous success. and just providing accessibility among many channels. So we focused on e-commerce, direct to consumer, which is where the bulk of our initial revenue has come from, and then moved into retail chains, and then into food service as well. So our focuses and our values have really been focused on, again, as I said, just the quality of ingredients, very clean. There's not a lot really to our products other than great flavor, a lot of vegetables, and a little bit of gluten in our baseline. And as I mentioned, we've now produced and come up with a gluten-free line. We have a strong, innovative R&D department that is working hard to develop new products that are current with flavor profiles and looking at meeting the needs of different geographic needs that we're looking to expand into. Our company really prides itself on being extremely nimble. So we see an opportunity and we go for it. And that's something that I can really attest to. I actually started with the company on the board of directors pre-IPO in 2019, and now work with the company on corporate development projects, specifically looking at expansion opportunities into Europe and PAC Asia. We're a very people-focused company, very purpose-filled, applying for B Corp status. And truly, I think our culture is one of the things that makes this company a great place to work and to be a part of. So this deck is a little bit dated, so keep that in mind that some of these numbers are on the light side. We now have over 30 SKUs in the market. We do have 4 production facilities, and you'll see in a later slide that our full capabilities for capacity output is close to 140 million pounds annualized. We fulfill over 60,000 e-commerce orders, which has been quite a jump up since previous years, and are really focused right now with the capital that we've raised on meeting production demand and really rounding out our facilities and our capabilities, upgrading equipment, and adding production lines. This is a quick snapshot of our team, the 2 founders, our president, who was the former CFO of Dea Foods. Very honored to have her. There's been a change to our CFO, so you'll see that in a new updated deck. As I mentioned, we really focus on clean ingredients. So we're operating fully in market. Here's a few of our core product lines. So the original lines, which include taco stuffer, the British bangers, smoking bangers, the very good pepperoni, the very good hot dog. We've got steak, the burgers, and then moving into a gluten-free line, which is the Butcher Select line, a wide variety of products, including burgers, meatballs, bratwurst sausages, breakfast sausages. We're in the process of launching steak, ribs, and other products to round out our portfolio. We also have acquired a local plant-based cheese company and rebranded under the Very Good Food Company. So we offer 10 SKUs of cheese that are now adopted into our facility. So our key strategies, as I've mentioned, has been to really focus on enhancing our capabilities in production, scaling our operations. Secondly, just strengthening the brand awareness through marketing, social media, consumer ads, some value programs with our retailers. Thirdly, to launching new products and gaining market share within the space and really gaining that traction in the market through first consumer experience, which often happens through our direct-to-consumer e-commerce platform, and then providing that backup opportunity for purchase at point of sales across the country. And then fourthly, again, the area I'm focused on, which is global expansion and kind of looking down the runway at further opportunities to really have the brand well-known globally as we build the production. We're focused obviously first on our backyard, Canada and the US. We've launched an e-commerce site in the UK. We've done a pilot e-commerce in China. And we focused on the channels of retail and initial steps into food service. This provides just a very brief overview of our current production facilities. and where they're at with regards to annualized capacity that we're looking to achieve as things are fully operational and running with full shifts. We can skip past that. So this shows a quick snapshot of our retail banners across Canada. You can see that we're with many of the flagship brands and stores, along with more of the Whole Foods, which really partners well with our brand and what we stand for. We've, as I mentioned, taken a step into food service. I helped essentially accelerate this partnership with Copper Branch, which is a global vegan fast food restaurant. And we have done in select stores in Canada branded freezers, which offers an additional point of sale for grab and go for consumers to consume at home. Just looking at, you know, the market dynamics and where the market is expected to be in the next 10 years or so. So I'm sure all of us have seen these stats, but obviously this market is not going anywhere, and it's only growing as consumers get more savvy and are not just looking to make decisions, you know, that are binary about buying vegan food, but actually looking at the ingredient deck and getting very savvy about the choices that they're making. All right. This is a great slide.
Sarah, just one more minute, please. If we can bring it to a close, like one more minute, please. Thank you.
Absolutely. So our focus has really been, as I mentioned, on e-commerce. Our goal as we move forward is to move more into wholesale and food service, and then continue on with our B2B, but really focus on the wholesale and retail B2B parts of our business. So our goal in this presentation and in this webinar is really just to seek potential partnerships in the Chinese market, to look at potential distribution partners, and for just the expertise to be shared about how to effectively approach this market. So if there are any questions, the best place to find us is online under the Very Good Butchers or the Very Good Food Company. There's a lot of information, investor information, and I can provide my contact for anyone who has further questions.
Thank you very much, Sarah, for such a comprehensive presentation. And it certainly looks like the variety of products available is significant. So thank you very much for taking the time to explain that. For the last presentation, I'd like to turn it to XPT and Eric. Over to you, sir.
Thank you.
Final word.
Thank you. Good morning, good evening, everybody. Glad to be here to meet all the old and new friends from China. So I would like to introduce our company in Mandarin, so make us everybody easy. 大家早上好，晚上好，我是谢英。
Good morning, good evening. My name is Xie Ying. I'm from XPT Grain. I'm the sales manager. You can also call me Eric. Now, let me see if I can share my PPT.
Okay, Eric, we can see your presentation.
Okay, I just have a few slides.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. 我们公司 XPT Grain 呢是
So our company is XPT Grain. We are located in Canada, in Saskatchewan, and also in Alberta. We do have our own process base over there, and our main product lines are peas and also other specialty pulses from Canada. And so there are some features in our business that is according to China's requirement, importers' requirement, and also we try to establish that demand and requirements to Canadian farmers. So that relationship includes we provide seeds and fertilizers, sign agreements for both parties, and finally fulfilling that agreement, honoring that agreement, besides rely on third-party storage loading, logistics, shipping. Besides that part, in Alberta, in our own process base, we can make cleaning, selection, packagings, and all can be done over there. Sorted and so on can all be done there in Alberta. We do hope and we look forward to a cooperation with Chinese importers and manufacturers. We will build a very close relationship between both parties. If you do look forward for that, please do contact me. Thank you.
Eric, thank you very much for your presentation. Very much appreciated.
I'm glad to be the quick one.
Thank you very much for that, sir, given that we're running a little bit behind schedule. So with that, I want to thank all the Canadian companies. Thank you so very much for presenting to us today. And I want to thank our Chinese partners online for staying with us and hearing about the capacity, the innovation, and really just overall great work going on within Canada in the plant protein space.